The main characters of Promethea and the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime set out to accomplish different goals that reflect and challenge the way they communicate and view the world. My name is Sophie Banks. I live and go to school in New York City. And up until I started researching for my midterm paper, I thought this world was the only world. And I thought stories were nothing more than that. Fiction, make-believe, imagination. Turns out, that's not the case.
My name is Christopher John Francis Boone. I live with my father in Swindon, Wiltshire. My mother died 2 years ago. I'm 15 years old, and I like math and science. I do not like liars or people who confuse me with metaphors, but I like dogs. And when I found Monsieur's Poodle Wellington with a pitchfork in his side, everything changed.
I'm Sophie, in a way. Something's happened to me. I can't explain it. I've fused somehow with, I don't know, some kind of living story. I've become the character I was writing my term paper on.
I think prime numbers are like life. They are very logical, but you can never work out the rules, even if you spend all your time thinking about them.
It's the climb.
That's me, and that's Barbara Shelley kicking me out before I could interview her. She told me, if I was you, I'd drop the whole Promethea thing right now. It's a nothing idea, you know? You don't want to go looking for folklore, and you especially don't want folklore looking for you.
I know this means happy, like when I'm reading about the Apollo space missions, or when I'm still awake at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning, and I can walk up and down the street and pretend that I'm the only person in the whole world. But I didn't feel like this when I found Wellington. I felt like this, which means sad. Someone murdered Wellington, and I'm going to solve it.
This message is being brought to you by Texture. I'm reporting live from our studio in New York City, where local college student Sophie Banks was attacked this evening by an unidentified creature. Witnesses say she escaped unharmed, however, Miss Banks is still missing. The city's science heroes, the 5 swell guys, did not make it to the scene on time, but an unidentified woman came to Miss Banks' rescue. We'll release more information as it is available. Turns out Promethea is more than a story, and Barbara isn't just Barbara. She told me Promethea was a real little girl who lived in 5th century Roman Egypt. Her father was sort of like a magician, but a Christian mob killed him. Not uncommon back then. The gods intervened, taking his daughter into their world of myth and fiction, the immateria. Promethea became a living story, and anyone with imagination and enough enthusiasm for the character can bring her through from the immateria by thinking themselves or others into the role. Beyond substance is imagination, the moonlit realm of dream and fiction, sexual fantasy, and the unconscious mind. Barbara said I didn't have a choice, and the only thing that would save us would be my imagination, my creativity, and my knowledge about Promethea. I am Promethea, the rumored one, the mythical bow that reason strains to bend. I am the voice left once the book is done. I am the dream that waking does not end. I am Promethea. That's me, Sophie Banks, or Promethea. I'm not sure. Either way, I know things are not going to be the same.
I like the logic behind Occam's razor. It's originally in Latin and means no more things should be presumed to exist than are absolutely necessary, which means that a murder victim is usually killed by someone unknown to them, and fairies are made out of paper. You can't talk to someone who is dead. This is the stamp on the envelope addressed to me, October 16th, 1997. Mother had died 18 months before, and yet the letter began.
Dear Christopher, I'm sorry it's been such a very long time since I wrote my last letter to you. I've been very busy. We moved into the new flat, as you can see from the address. It's easier for Roger to get to work, and he's bought it so we can buy our own furniture and paint the walls the color we want to. You haven't written to me yet, so I know that you're probably still angry with me. I'm sorry, Christopher, but I still love you. I hope you don't stay angry with me forever, and I'd love it if you were able to write me a letter. But remember to send it to the new address. I think about you all the time. Lots of love. Your Mom.
When I started writing my book, there was only one mystery I had to solve. Now there were 2. I counted the letters. There were 43 of them. They were all addressed to me in the same handwriting. I felt sick. Mother had not had a heart attack. Mother had not died. Mother had been alive all the time. And Father had lied about this. I heard him walk into the room. His voice was tiny and far away, like people's voices sometimes do when I am groaning and I don't want them to be near me. I wondered if this was a joke, because I don't understand jokes. And when people tell jokes, they don't mean what they say. The mystery has been solved. Now I had to get out of the house. Father had murdered Wellington. That meant he could murder me because I couldn't trust him, even though he'd said, "Trust me." Nothing I could do felt safe. I made a picture in my head like this. I imagined crossing out all the possibilities which were impossible, and it was like this, which meant I had to go to London to live with Mother.
I have a lot to learn, they tell me. The Prometheas of the past. But the one thing I've got down is that my reality, New York City in 1999, is not the only world. And this other world, the collective imagination, the immateria, I'm supposed to be the gatekeeper of or something. I've learned that too. Promethea isn't just a story or a character in a comic. She's so much more. She's the human race's ticket to the immaterial, and the immaterial is like the promised land.
And I got the results of my maths A level, and I got an A grade, which is the best result, and it made me feel like this. And I know I can do this because I went to London on my own, and because I solved the mystery of who killed Wellington. And I found my mother, and I was brave, and I wrote a book, and that means I can do anything.